Hey, Peaceful Living Warriors. Nice to see you. So there was a little confusion this week about what we were talking about. If you saw an Instagram post saying that we are talking about productivity, please ignore that because we are actually talking about how to just enjoy your journey. I have been really stressing with y'all how to break your busy and find time for yourselves. So today we're going to talk about bringing that all together and why it matters. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier this week, actually it was just yesterday, and she was saying that she kind of is going through her life waiting for the next shoe to drop. And I understand that because I have lived my life that way in the past. For me, it was always waiting for the rug to be pulled out from under me. I was a planner, and I'm somebody who likes to solve problems, which is probably why I'm a coach, because I help people solve their problems for themselves. I don't solve them for them. But because of that, when I was always trying to solve my own problems and I was doing it through planning, I ended up being in a situation when I was younger and dependent upon other people like my parents when I was growing and allowed myself to be dependent upon other people like romantic partners. I found that it really didn't always go according to plan. And, of course that's complicated about, well, why did I pick those certain partners and so forth and so on. We don't need to go into that. But often I was finding that the rug was being pulled out from under me. I mean, even things like while I was in college, I was working my way through college, putting myself through, and I went to a California State University, and our tuition was really low when I started, and I got these great grants. Well, lo and behold, in my senior year, the government changed their rules, and I could no longer not file separately. Like, where's the word for that? File separately on my taxes with my parents, even though I was independent and supported myself. So I lost all my grants. So I had to figure out how am I going to pay my tuition? Well, at the same time, our tuition tripled. So things like that always happening. And it got to the point where I was living my life in such a state of anxiety that things were going to be pulled out from under me that I was hurting my health. And you've heard me talk a lot about, well, all the things I did in the past that caused stress, which then caused me to have health problems. That's why I do what I do now, because I learned my lessons, and because I am a problem solver, I had to solve my own problems. And one of the things that I figured out along the way is that you cannot live your life in a state of chronic stress. So some interesting statistics about that. I was doing some research on the internet and found some very interesting stuff coming out of our friends from Stanford University, as well as some researchers who are writing really cool books. And one of the things I found is that the American Psychological Association is showing that Americans are more stressed out than ever. This is the report that came out in 2017. And they talk about a whole bunch of different reasons why. But then I was over on a blog out of Harvard and the Harvard Business Review, and I was looking at some statistics about how Americans are living their lives and how they're being productive or not productive. And same thing, they're finding that Americans are working more hours than ever, but they're working less productively than ever. And what they are finding is that not only because we're working more hours, thus less efficiently, that our lives have become so busy, that it's causing this state of stress. So why is it that we are doing this? And there's a lot of theories out there, but I think the one that really resonates the most with me and what I see in my friends and neighbors is that for some reason we are glamorizing busy these days. We are glamorizing and adding value to, if you don't want to use the word value, we are adding value to the idea that we're busy. I read several blogs and was able to reflect on these same conversations in my own life about how instead of saying, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. How are you? these days we have a tendency to say, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm busy. I'm just so busy. It's crazy. And the response is, oh my gosh, me too. My kids' schedules and work is just out of control and traffic. And this is what I hear every single day. I'm so busy. Well, okay, so here's what we know so far. We know that Americans are busier than ever. We know that we are embracing our busy and adding value to it, and we're supporting each other and giving each other empathy for it, which is actually a good thing. We are seeing it in the media. There was an interesting overview of Twitter done by the folks, I think this one was out of Stanford, and how celebrities are now complaining on Twitter all the time about how they're so busy and they need a vacation, they need a day off. Similar study about how we're seeing changes in advertising, and especially for luxury items like fancy cars. It used to be that to have a luxury lifestyle, it was kind of a lifestyle of leisure, and you would see that in the advertising. People driving their fancy cars or on boats, living a life of leisure and luxury. But now those same commercials are all about how the person driving the fancy car is able to drive the fancy car because he works so hard and he's so busy all the time. And so we as a society have taken this to mean that busy must mean that we are super productive, that we are not lazy, but that's not what it means. Because the other research that we find is that the more busy we are, the less productive we are. The most productive workers actually take 10-minute breaks to 17-minute breaks for every 50 minutes worked. Also, the healthiest people, in terms of the strength of their immune system, not getting chronic illnesses, not getting non-chronic illnesses, they are people who have their stress under control and they don't lead hectic, busy lifestyles. There's more to it than that. There's mindset. There's community. So there's other things that go into that. I'll talk about that in a second. But so if we look at what the research is telling us, it's telling us that if we work 40 hours or less, and within that time, if we take breaks, and if within that time we are focused on what we're doing, instead of being distracted by checking our email, that's a big one, checking email all the time. A lot of my clients, they have an email ping on their computer so that every time an email comes in, they're like, okay, I got to look at this. And that's often their company policy. But that is actually distracting and makes it so that you are less productive, meaning you will be working more hours doing less because you're trying to get all this stuff done because you're answering all these email pings. So here's the sum of it. Step back. Take your breaks. 40-hour work week is the max. That's where employees work efficiently, or even under that. Going up towards 50, 60 hours a week, you're not working efficiently. I know, I've been doing that lately. Jen, mind your own business and do what you tell everybody else to do. And so yeah, I'm taking a step back because I have been burning the candle at both ends. And guess what's happening? I'm having more brain fog. You can see it in the video. I'm losing my words. So I got to take a step back. I got to stop working so many hours. And then the other thing that we have found is, well, why is it that people are having more stress-based illnesses and they're not taking care of them? So that's the second part of it. So we know why we're having more stress-based illnesses, because we are leading busy, busy lives. We are putting value on being busy. We are not functioning in community and supportive community enough, because that's a major stress reliever. We're so busy, we are not engaging in self-care. But then we are also so busy that when we get sick, we are going into work. Americans do not take their sick days, or they don't take their sick days when they're sick. So that's a difference. They don't take their sick days when they are sick. And that is because they have to save up their sick days for if their kids are sick, or if there's something in the family that they have to take care of. So this is something we have to address from the workplace perspective. but take your sick days as well. The other thing that's going on is that when we do get sick with chronic illnesses like diabetes, like hypertension, and guess what? These are killers, like the stress that leads to stroke, we are not going to the doctor and getting help. We are not taking the time out to take care of ourselves. So not just the doctor, but the self-care we need. So the time we need to spend in really easy things like a home yoga practice or going to a yoga class, like taking a long walk. You don't have to go out and run 5 miles. If that suits you and that feels good, more power to you. But taking a walk in terms of stress reduction is just as good for you as running 5 miles. And in fact, it's easier on your joints. Taking time to be mindful about your eating. Stop watching television. Stop being on the phone while you're eating. Pay attention to what you're eating. Eat healthy foods and taste them. Slowly chew, slowly swallow, and enjoy. That makes such a difference. Stop putting your busy, stressful lifestyle on your kids, because that's, again, I'm right in the thick of it, right? I have middle school kids. I have friends and neighbors that are running their kids all over the place, and they're doing it because it's so good for their kids, because we want them to be involved in so many different things. But I talked last week about why that's not good for your kids. That gets them addicted to busy too, and that sets them up for stress-related disease as well. So give your kids a break. Give yourself a break. Spend time just chilling out. Spend time just enjoying your surroundings. Spend time enjoying each other. And that makes a difference all the way around, because A, it allows you to not be so busy. B, it allows your brain to rest, so that when you are focused on your work and the things that are important, whether it's paid work, volunteer work, parenting work, which is sort of volunteer work and sort of compulsory, but that your brain is more focused. And so you're a better parent, you're a better employee, and you're a better self. So this is the end of the Breaking Busy Mindset Matters series of blogs and vlogs. And I just want to really encourage you all, take care of yourselves. Break your busy. Read the blog this week so you can look at the statistics. You can look at the research. I know everyone says statistics can be changed. I was an academic. We go through peer reviews. Believe me, these are good numbers. And give yourself permission to take a break. Give yourself permission that when somebody says, "How are you?" you can say, "Hey, I'm really good. I've been relaxing and chilling out." And then not only do you get to have the mind-body health benefits, but you are also giving those mind-body health benefits to your kids, if you have kids. So thanks for tuning in, y'all. Remember, if you would like inspirations in your inbox once a week, go on to peacefullivingwellness.com and subscribe to my email. I do not spam you. I only send out once a week, and it's just the blog and maybe some announcements about if I'm doing a workshop or something like that. But there's not a lot of sponsored advertising, affiliates, or anything like that. It's just about giving you the information to help make your life better. And if you would like to have a little bit more of that on a personal level, of course, always reach out to me. I do coaching over video, so it doesn't matter where you are. We can figure out how to do coaching, and let me support you in that endeavor to have an empowered through peace life. Thanks again for tuning in. Bye until next week. Oh, next month. Body image, positive body image. We're going to be really celebrating body positive activists and talking about why the obesity myth is hurting your life. Okay, bye.